Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at the new Transformers Legacy Evolution Leader Class, Armada Universe Megatron. So here he is. And if you saw my short over the Armada Galvatron, you knew that this was going to be coming. And throughout the video, I'm going to periodically talk about the differences between the two, but we're going to start with him. So, obviously, it is very, very faithful to the original design, and this is where the first comparisons will start. I don't have him transformed, but you see there's this little molding to emulate this gimmick. I don't know what it would do for this gimmick right here. It has obviously those missiles right there, those lights right there, the turret hatch right there, this venting right there, the Decepticon symbol right there, this sliding thing for the missiles right there. The feet have this grating like this toy, obviously in a different color. It has this side hatch like this toy. And it has ribs on the gun barrel and this little bar for the recoiling system and the firing system of that. So very, very much of this toy is emulated. So, they took everything from the original toy and imbued it into this one. So like the bottom, obviously there is a little bit of different stuff like these panels, and that's really it. These panels and maybe a little bit of the coloring. I don't own the Megatron version, I only own the Galvatron version, but you can tell that they wanted to keep most of the stuff that was good and cool about the original toy and character model here. And I really like that. I really like that. So yeah, he does have pinned wheels, so he rolls extremely good. Really like that. The turret does move. It does not do a full 360 like the original, but it can do that'd be about 390. No, whatever it'd be. Can't be 390, duh. But it can nearly go a full 360. I don't know why I said 390. I don't know my degrees. This can go up. It can only go 90. It cannot go forward at maybe a 45, how the original was, and you could use it as a missile in tank mode. And it can swivel. Something that has been annoying, it comes off. It's on it's a light, mushroom peg kind of thing, I guess you could say. So whenever it goes into this 90-degree tab, it's a little tough putting it on. And if you don't, and obviously it's not going to do it right now, but I have just popped the entire thing off because that tab isn't sloped or anything. I don't know. Obviously, the barrel can go completely 90, which the original one couldn't, and I like that. It can go way down, which the original one could as well. Can't go back because there's no spring for that mechanism. This can swivel because it comes off, and this is packed separately. So, and obviously, it probably is blast effect compatible for 5mm. And you can just see how many 5mm ports there are on this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I think a couple more get revealed. 7, 8, I think. So he is definitely a perfect candidate for the weaponizers, fossilizers, modulators, whatever you want to use. Very good. So yeah. I really like his vehicle mode. I like all the same things for the original toy are said. The feet are right there, obviously, and his head is right there, obviously. So yeah, but still, overall, it's a very, very faithful representation of the toy, nearly identical. And I'll talk about that more into the robot mode and showing off the transformation. So let's jump into that. So I'm going to flip them over, and we're going to start with the legs. So I just like to wiggle them because this part, this little piece of geometry tabs in right there, and then this panel tabs in. So I just like to wiggle it a little bit and then fold out the leg and close that panel. That's one thing. I just love the satisfaction of being able to click it open, close it, and then click it shut again like that. I just really like that. Really satisfying. Now you can flip the foot up, then the heel. Just straighten the leg out. Just gonna quick raise the camera up just a touch. Like that. And now untap that. Click. Done, done. And now I have done this for the original toy, this one, a lot. A trick, you can't swivel the waist, and it happens on the original toy. I just like to move the turret around just enough to swing the waist out. I don't know if that's a transformation step. I was already familiar enough with this design that I didn't get the instructions out, so I might be transforming this completely wrong to the instructions, but whatever. So yeah, and you can do that with the original one. I'll just show that off really quick. Is that this one? Yeah, you can't do it like that because this gets in the way, but if you tilt it, you can. So yeah, that is just what I found to do that better. Gonna raise it up just a touch more. And now I come to the shoulder flaps and bring those up. And now open those up. And now I like to bring this down, hinge, put my thumb there and pry it out. And then bring that down bring it down the rest of the way. Do that. Do it again. Like so. So now we can come here. I don't know if it's just my copy or it's just a widespread thing, but this is just really tough on my copy, so I like to always have something like that is 5mm port, and it goes, I think, onto that, or something in here pegs into that, or maybe it's just the friction, I don't know, but it's just tough for me. I feel like I'm gonna rip my fingernail off, so I just typically grab for something. Most of the time I don't need to do that with other toys, but this one I just don't feel very confident in trying to do it with just my finger. And you just flip the hands out, flip those down, close those up. So yeah, and now flip this down, flip that up, close it, and there we have Legacy Armada Megatron. Just straighten him out. And when I first got him, I thought that this slid down like the original toy because it looks like it's attached to something. It's not. It's fake. Obviously, I showed you. It flips. This whole flips down like that. Like this is the original one, and flip up and flip down. I thought it would be that, but they didn't, which isn't a bad thing. Just something that I noticed and that I just assumed was going to be there. So yeah, I really like the toy. This is technically how you're supposed to have them, I think. Either or, whichever side I think whichever side is supposed to be accurate, but I always like to just display him with the barrel up like that. And I really like the toy. I really like the toy. I think he's big. He's literally nearly the exact same size as the original toy. So I think he justifies his leader price point. I really like, and he scales well with like Voyagers. Oops, that fell out. So Battle Trap, he is already a bigger Voyager, but I like the fact that he still seems big, but he doesn't seem small compared to like a bigger Voyager. So I like that. I like the fact that, he's not the huge old leader, but he definitely stacks up to the same size of his original counterpart. I like that. And he very much is an upgrade with his articulation. He has a ball jointed head, which is very expressive, can turn, look up a little, look down a lot. Obviously, universal shoulders, regular elbows, wrists, all this stuff, five swivel. And I really like the ankle tilt. It does tab in and it is a little tough, but whenever you get it, you get a lot of ankle tilt and you have that filler piece, which I do really like. You can tell that the people that designed this toy really wanted it to be good. So it's obviously an upgrade, due to articulation, because this toy had nothing in the legs. This guy has a lot in the legs. That's one of his main highlights, in my personal opinion. But and they changed enough of it to make it seem like Cybertron Metroplex, the new Legacy Metroplex. They changed enough to make it feel interesting, or I should say added enough to make it feel interesting without it being boring, but they kept enough of the old stuff to make it feel familiar. And I like that. But it's the fact that I noticed this. I looked it up on eBay. I can get this Galvatron over here and the Megatron counterpart around $14 to $20, like bare bones, with no horns, no accessories, no nothing, and he's $50. And then I can get online and buy him, at least with his horns, for $50-ish. So just, it feels a little redundant that they didn't change enough to make him feel unfamiliar, because you can get online on eBay and find a nearly identical toy but a little bit worse in articulation and buy him for the exact same money, and he's the original one. I'm not saying like, boo, boycott the toy. No, I'm not saying that. I just noticed that because of all the characters that I've gotten here recently within the year, he's one of the better ones, objective, and I like him a bit more. So I'm not saying I don't like it. I don't regret buying him, but just I noticed that. So yeah, I really like the toy. It still has the clever and different transformation. I really like it. So yeah, obviously you can do the whole side thing like the show, just him shooting it, and obviously you can get it in probably some pose, but so yeah, and obviously you can flip it around to the other side, and then you can do the whole tidal wave combination, but there isn't a tidal wave, and this I think is the Evo Fusion. You lift, pull the waist up, lift all that up, and now you swivel. Oh yeah, you hinge this down, and then you swivel it all the way around, and it has a light detent at the front of the chest, so you just close that up, and you can leave it up like that, I guess, if you wanted to, but I'll just shift it down. So just straighten the arms out, bring that forward, and now you have the his cannon rotating thing that he uses with tidal wave. And the original toy, I'll just turn this around to show you, is that the gun doesn't go completely 90s, so it definitely is an upgrade he's definitely an upgrade in almost every sense. And he has most of the notable gimmicks that the original toy had, and I just really like the toy. I just wanted to point that out about being able to still buy the original toy for not very much money. So yeah. One thing that I do have to note, and you can adjust the shoulders if you want them up higher, you can, but I just follow the directions. Okay. So one of my biggest critiques, and it's not even hardly a critique, it's just like a little chip on the shoulder, you could say. It happened with the new Laser Optimus Prime and the Scourge, the Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 Scourge as well. is that they contained they made the shoulders separate from these like shoulder pylons or like the front of the truck for the Optimus Laser Prime mold. Is that you flip this up and he can only bring his arm out at 90, and obviously you can do all the stuff that it does, but it can't go back. It can only go forward at a 90. When the original toy, since it had just like the original Prime, Laser Rod Prime, the whole shoulder can go back, and obviously it looks weird, but I just think it's a touch limiting for some poses. I remember running into sword limitations when I would try to pose Laser Rod Optimus Prime with his sword because he could only bring his arms out to a 90. That's not bad. I'm just saying is that just a tiny little thing that I think, I don't know which way I lean. These being part of the shoulder and rotate with the arm, or if the arm should be self-contained and not move with it. I don't know. Just something to point out. And another thing, bring the arm up, and this hinge on both sides is loose. It's so loose, and the shoulder joints moving in and out are too tight for it. That might be my copy, and I could fix it. I'm not going to fix it. Just something to point out, and it is a little annoying. But I still really, really like this toy. It is just awesome. It's definitely worth his asking price. I really like it. He's not big like the Dinobots, like the 86 Dinobots, but he definitely keeps all the things that feel good about the original toy, and he has the size of the original toy. So if you have a bunch of Armada toys but you don't have Megatron, you could just go out and buy a brand new one that is objectively better, and he will mesh fully into your Armada collection. Kind of like how the new Cybertron Metroplex can just immerse itself into your collection. I really like that. Into a Cybertron collection. I like the fact that it's not completely redesigned, not saying it needs to be completely screen accurate, but I like the fact that it just looks similar, but looks a touch different. And the horns are not molded in. They have just two little pegs. And you just peg it back in. And obviously it's going to make me look like an idiot. But, so yeah. And you can take the barrel off, the tip of the barrel, flip the hand in, put it on right there, and now he has a gun hand. If you want to do that. I just leave it like that. And they did sculpt the knife hand differently. I don't know why. It's not a big deal. I don't really care. I don't know if he came with a knife. I didn't watch anybody's review on this toy, so I don't know if he had a knife. And after finding 2 pieces of the Arc in his box, I do not have the strongest track record of finding things in the box that are hidden or that you're supposed to find. So I don't know if he has a knife, but I don't really care. It was a gimmick that was cool on the original, but it would be hard to implement that into a new toy. So, yeah. Overall, I really like this toy. I highly suggest it. And I don't typically do this, but if they do the Galvatron colors good enough, the toy that I've been showing off this entire video with the comparisons, I'll probably end up buying it if it's good enough. If it has nice colors, if it looks good. If it is a little bit more iffy and they change a bit more of the colors, I might just stick with this and keep him and not buy the Galvatron. But I personally like the Galvatron colors more. But overall, that's not anything against this toy. I did point out the things of him being expensive compared to, or not really expensive, but you can go out and buy a cheap original toy for not very much money. That's not a criticism, just something to note. The fact that they didn't change too very much, that's not a criticism, just want to note it. His shoulders are a little annoying, but it doesn't drag down the figure, and it could be my copy. So I don't know. And obviously reveals more 5mm ports with the 2 shoulders, which makes 10, I think, if I counted correctly. And just, I like the fact that the people that made this toy, designed it, made it, everything about it, enjoyed and wanted to have the character be perfect. Make this toy be perfect, make it seem familiar but different. This is literally just like how they made the original, made the new Legacy Metroplex. Just they respected the original toy, respected the original design, and they wanted to change it just a touch and basically remaster it. And I really, really like that, and I really, really respect it. So yeah, highly, highly suggest this toy. And he's been living on, like, around my living room chair for a little bit. I got him like last week, and he's been living there ever since. So yeah, a worthy upgrade to the original toy. So yeah, highly, highly recommend this guy. So till next time, see ya.